Oh well. 10 haunted places in New South Wales where the harbour lights flick off for no one. He likes to finger his pies. He sure does. What a weirdo. At least he could be like the kid in an American Pie and just, you know, stick his willy in there. The night air. Oh, look, it's Luna Park. Do.
The night air in New South Wales can feel deceptively warm, almost inviting until you notice the silence between the waves, the way the wind cuts off mid-breath.
If there's waves on Sydney Harbour, be very, very concerned because that's not normal. It's, you know, it can get a little bit choppy if it's really windy, but there should not be waves on the harbour. That would be very dangerous for the people living in their multi-million-dollar properties here.
As if something unseen is listening. Beneath the glow of the harbour lights and the sprawl of coastal towns.
What?
There are places here where shadows linger too long, and echoes don't belong to the living. Tonight, we step into streets that seem normal by day, but after dark, they turn into corridors between worlds. Keep your eyes open. In New South Wales, not every light you see is meant to guide you home. 10. Monte Cristo Homestead, Junee. They call it the most haunted house in Australia, and in Junee, everyone knows the legend of Monte.
It's Junee, by the way. If you come to Australia and call it Junee, people are going to be like, did you hit your head, you posh cunt? Oh, look, this guy thinks he's fancy. And then you'll just be called Fancy Man or like some other nickname for the rest of the night. It's definitely Junee. It's not Junee. Yeah. Look, people, if you get given a nickname by a bunch of drunk Aussies, it's gonna stick to you. So you probably don't want to be called like the fancy cunt or whatever. You know? What are we talking about? Don't tell me the bridge is haunted. You think Sydney Harbour Bridge has many stories? Only one person ever fell off the Harbour Bridge, Hyperbovian, and he survived. I was looking, but yeah, the Westgate Bridge was built, you know, way after the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and so many people died there. Because I always walk under the Westgate Bridge, you know, well, not always, but maybe like a few times a month. I go and go under there where the mangroves are, and there's like a little jetty and stuff where you can go under there. It's like they fenced it off so you can't walk all the way out anymore, but I always see this little Asian guy out there fishing, and he always like climbs across. I offered him a hand across once, and I don't think he understood what I was saying, but it's like someone's grandpa's out there fishing in the middle of the night, so that's cute. Don't think he speaks English, but he's very adorable. Yeah, there's the CFMEU erected a plaque there. Yeah, heaps of people died, but no, the Sydney Harbour Bridge is fine. Let's look at but look, Sydney's always had very militant unions compared to Victoria. Victoria having like a super robust CFMEU is sort of, I don't want to say recent, but relatively. Because I think Sydney Harbour Bridge is 1932, the construction. I want to say the 19th of March, because I have the same birthday as the Harbour Bridge. And that's how I know. 16 men died in the construction of the bridge versus, and this was in what year? 2007 was the 75th anniversary. The construction was 1930, okay, versus Westgate Bridge. So the Westgate Bridge was built in 1970 and 35 workers died. So you would think in 1970 they would have, you know, way more like safety, like way more like safety precautions that they could take. But that many people dying and that many people, 18 people injured as well. Yeah, I always look because it says like the profession of the people that died, and there were heaps of riggers that died on the bridge, because I was all looking at all the names of the riggers because my daddy used to be a rigger, so I was looking. Yeah, the CFMEU have a nice little plaque there, but they need to make a nicer park, because a rigger is like somebody that ties loads, like for cranes and stuff. You work with all the ropes, And a dogger is like somebody that does the whistles. So usually someone's a rigger and a dogger, and a dogger is the person that has the whistle. So like when they say the load's secure, they let the bloke in the crane know by, you know, doing 2 whistles or whatever it is. Yeah. It's you got to know how to tie a lot of different knots, I guess, basically. But yeah, I walk under the west gate semi-often, I would say. Here's the plaque. Here's the plaque. I only ever see it at night. But yeah, this is all the names of the people that died. What's the CFMEU for the internationals? It's construction, mining, forestry, and the E is... Hang on. It used to be the Builders and Labourers Party, and then it became the CFMEU. I always forget the E. Maritime employees. Oh, the M is maritime. Oh yeah, they did amalgamate, didn't they? Construction, Forestry, and Maritime Employees Union. That's not what it used to stand for, though. The M used to stand for manufacturing. But the MUA, which was the Maritime Union of Australia, they amalgamated to make like a super union not too long ago. Hang on, let's check that. I knew they were talking about it, but I didn't know they actually did it. When did MUA and CFMEU... How do you spell amalgamate? Yeah, they amalgamated in 2018. So it was the CFMEU, the MUA, and the Textile Clothing and Footwear Union of Australia. So that's why what it stands for has changed. But before that, it used to be the Builders and Labourers Union. Because my dad's been very active in the union since he moved to Australia when he was 19. Because yeah, he's pretty much worked in construction most of his life. He was in the army for a bit, also the Australian Army, which is where he met all of his Alco friends. They're very funny. They tell me lots of hilarious stories. It's a good time. It's a good time to go drinking with my dad now that he's retired, and his mates. They're so funny. But yeah, there's definitely some vibes around the Westgate Bridge for sure, like down under the pylons on like the Yarraville Spotswood side of the bridge.
De Cristo. The 2-story Victorian manor stands on a hill, its lacework balcony catching the last rays of sun like a spiderweb catching flies.
Oh, this is in Junie, not Junie. Don't call it Junie, you'll get bashed.
Inside, time seems unwilling to move forward. The air is cold, not just from the stone walls, but from the weight of what happened here. Built in 1885 by Christopher William Crawley,
that's a nice house.
The homestead was meant to be a symbol of wealth and refinement. Instead, it became a tomb for whispers. Over the decades, its walls have absorbed tragedies. A stable boy burned alive, a maid who fell from the balcony, a mentally ill man kept chained in an outbuilding until his death. Even Mrs. Crawley herself, after her husband's death, became a recluse who never left the house for...
Oh, so these landowners were getting all rural with it, getting a bit mad with their isolation. And some people can get like really cruel. Some people can like get really cruel and sadistic when they're like in the middle of nowhere and they have like power over other people. Isolation does something to people. People either become chilled out or serene, or they get a little bit sick. It brings out, you know, some predilections, that's the word, for like, you know, masochism and sadism and all that freaky deaky stuff. Yeah, if these people were sickos, it would make sense this place is haunted. Yucky.
23 years, keeping the curtains drawn and the world out. Visitors say the house still hums with grief.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Rooms grow colder without reason. Heavy footsteps follow you along the upstairs hallway, even when you're alone. Some hear the rustle of Mrs. Crawley's black dress just behind them, only to turn and find nothing but still air. And in the former nursery, toys are said to move on their own, perhaps stirred by the restless spirit of a child.
Well, maybe don't put freaking mannequins around the house. Of course people are gonna freaking shit their pants. God, what a fucking jump scare. the National Trust always do shit like this. No wonder people are freaking hallucinating shit. They do it on purpose. They know what they're doing.
Who never made it past infancy. Stand too long in the dining room, and you might feel a hand on your shoulder. Warm at first.
Yeah, it's the freaking caretaker going, yeah, we're closing in 5 minutes. Can you leave? That tends to what happened if you linger too long. Like, we close at 5. Off you go. That's probably the hand that's touching you because you lingered too long. Tends to be how tours work, mate.
Then icy. It's a reminder this house remembers you. Whether you survive its memories is another matter entirely.
Okay. Take it down a notch.
Gladesville Mental Hospital.
I know this. I know this place. I know this place.
River drifts quietly past Gladesville. But on certain nights, the wind seems...
I almost said Kate Winslet instead of Kate Blanchett. Kate Blanchett lives in Gladesville. It's a very fancy suburb. And Banjo Patterson, the man that wrote, the guy that wrote Waltzing Matilda and the man from Snowy River and all of that, those like Australia's most famous writer or whatever, his house is also in Gladesville. My hat is so tiny. I know I should get a bigger one, shouldn't I, Bailey? It definitely... You know, it's definitely very practical. It's definitely a very practical hat.
To carry a low, pained moan from the cliffs above. That's where Gladesville Mental Hospital still sits, a cluster of crumbling buildings and locked wards that once held thousands of souls in silence. Opened in 1838 as the Tarban Creek Lunatic Asylum, it was built with high ideals, fresh air, open space, and humane treatment. But like so many asylums of its era, those ideals rotted in the shadows of overcrowding, neglect, and abuse. Patients, many of them abandoned by their families, spent decades behind locked doors. Some were restrained in darkness for weeks, others subjected to crude medical experiments. When the hospital finally closed in the late 20th century, it left behind more than empty rooms. The unmarked graves of over 1,000 patients lie in the surrounding grounds.
Ooh.
No headstones, no names, only numbers carved into the earth. Today, explorers say the hospital feels alive in ways it shouldn't. Cold drafts slide down hallways with no open windows. Doors close quietly behind you, and voices faint. Almost
what a beautiful building.
Seem to echo from rooms you know are empty. Some have reported seeing pale figures standing at the far end of a ward, only for them to dissolve into the walls. Others claim the smell of disinfectant still lingers in the air, decades after the last patient was moved out. If you walk the riverbank at night, you might catch the sound of something heavy being dragged across the floor above you. There's nothing there, but in Gladesville, absence has never meant safety.
There's a lot of rich people in Gladesville, I will tell you that. A lot of rich people, including Kate Blanchett. So, Academy Award winner Kate Blanchett. She lives there. That's where her and her hubby and kids live. It's very fancy, very fancy. Too fancy for me and my povo bum.
8. Picton Tunnel. Picton.
Oh, Picton!
The Red Bank Range Tunnel outside Picton is a relic of rail history, a damp, brick-lined passage cut through the hillside in 1867. But when night falls, the darkness inside feels thicker than it should, as if it's been sitting there for over a century, waiting.
There's a really
whisper about Emily.
There's a really awesome swimming hole in Picton, and it's called Mermaid something. Hello, Ricochet, good to see you. This is in Picton, hang on. It's on the Nepean River. Picton waterhole. Mermaid pool. Mermaid pool. This is on the Nepean River. It's so nice. I knew it was called Mermaid something. I just couldn't remember. I've been here. This waterhole, grade A, baby. It's beautiful. It's a 3-kilometer walk down, so that's like 6 miles. It's really nice. We used to drive. We used to drive down here when we were like teenagers. I can't swim, but my friends used to swim and I used to watch. It's very deep, so yeah, it's so nice. People always jump off here because it's very deep. You can just Anyway, that's in Picton.
Baller. A woman found dead inside the tunnel in 1916. She'd been struck by a train, or so the newspapers said. But no one could explain why she was walking through the tunnel that night, or why her death felt so unfinished. Ever since, visitors claim to see her ghost, a lone woman in white, drifting silently through the tunnel before vanishing into the black. Sometimes.
Why can't I swim? Because I have like really bad rheumatoid arthritis, and I have a lot of problems with coordination. I also have incredibly bad anxiety, and I've been trying to learn to swim since I was a little kid. I went to swimming lessons when I was a little kid. Every single boyfriend that I've ever had in my life has always tried to teach me to swim, and I just can't do it. I can float on my stomach, I can float on my back, I just can't move my legs properly. Whenever I try, I just can't do it. So I don't know. And I always freak out, and I always like panic, and I don't know, I just can't do it. Can I float? Yeah, I can float. I can float on my back, and I can float on my tummy. I want to like go to adult swim lessons. I just yeah. I don't know, it's just kind of embarrassing now. Like, I feel like it's at a point now where it's just kind of embarrassing not to be able to swim, but yeah, it's yeah, I will, like, they do adult swim classes near where I live, so I should probably go. I should probably try and learn to swim, but it's just yeah, it's just, I don't know, I find it very stressful.
Sometimes she appears only as a faint light in the distance, flickering like a lantern until it rushes toward you and disappears. It's not just Emily, either. Some say they've heard a phantom train thunder past them, the walls trembling, only for the air to fall silent a heartbeat later. Others have felt invisible hands tug at their clothing, urging them deeper inside. Stand in the middle too long, and you might notice your own shadow behaving strangely, stretching toward the far end of the tunnel, even when the light is behind you. And if you hear footsteps pacing just ahead, remember this in Picton Tunnel. You are never the only one making the journey.
Okay.
7. Q Station.
I told the story about the quarantine station in Manly when my friends were going on the ghost tour there, and I told them not to. I told them not to go. I was living in the city at the time, on the other side of the harbour, because this is on the north side of the harbour. This is North Head, the old quarantine station. And remember I told you I had a bunch of dumb scared girls staying at my place, and I told them not to go. I told them not to go. They were like, oh, something followed us. Like, cool, thanks for bringing it to my house. But yeah. This is the place I was talking about, Manly Quarantine Station.
Manly, Sydney. The view from North Head is stunning, the Pacific stretching
It is
endlessly,
beautiful.
the lights of Sydney twinkling in the distance. But just beyond the beauty lies the quarantine station, a place built to keep disease from entering Australia, and where thousands never left alive. From the 1830s to the 1980s, ships arriving in Sydney with suspected cases of smallpox, plague, or Spanish flu were forced to stop here. Passengers and crew were taken ashore, separated from their belongings, and placed in isolation. Some stayed for weeks. Others spent their last hours on the rocky headland, buried in the hillside cemetery, without ever stepping foot in the city they'd sailed for. The sands.
I just want to say, technically, Manly is a part of Sydney. As much as I'm loath to say it, the North Shore and the Northern Beaches are a part of Sydney. There you go. I made the biggest concession of my life. Look, they're rich and they're annoying, and they surf too much and they swallow too much salt water, significantly lowering their IQ. See Tony Abbott for an example. But it is a part of Sydney. It is a part of Sydney.
Stone buildings still stand, empty dormitories, the hospital, the showers where people were scrubbed down with carbolic acid.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
Visitors say the past is not entirely silent here. In the hospital, shadowy figures have been seen standing by the beds. In the shower block, the hiss of running water sometimes echoes when the pipes are dry. Tour guides tell of a little girl in a dress from the early 1900s who skips between buildings, her footsteps impossibly light, her laughter distant.
Oh, she sounds nice.
Others.
That sounds like a nice ghost.
Brush your skin in the night air, or a man in a bowler hat who appears on the steps.
You sure it's just not a hipster?
When you blink. Even in
that could just be a hipster. There are like some hipsters in Manly, which is weird. I think they're like rebelling against like the surf culture there. That's where Joey the anime man is from. He's from Manly. When I found out he was from Manly, I was like, huh. And then I found out he's a lolly enjoyer, or like was defending lolly, and I was like, yeah, you're from Manly. That checks out. No, I'm sure he's a nice guy. I don't know.
Daylight. The Q station feels like a place that remembers every name, every fever, every final breath.
The houses in Manly are like $10 million.
Harbour winds carry those
it's for rich people.
Right to your ear. 6. Maitland Jail.
Oh, Newcastle.
The stone walls of Maitland
This
Jail
is Newcastle.
rise like a fortress against the Hunter Valley sky. Built in 1848, it housed some of Australia's most dangerous criminals, and some were simply unlucky. The cells were cold, the punishments harsh, and for many, the only way out was in a coffin. Over its 150 years of operation, the jail saw hangings, riots, and escape attempts that ended in blood. In 1977, an inmate was stabbed to death in the exercise yard, sparking unrest that rattled the entire prison. Guards and prisoners alike spoke of a constant tension in the air, as if violence was never far away. Today, the jail is open for tours, but visitors often leave with more than photographs. In the high-security wing, footsteps follow you up the iron stair.
Is that the place from the movie The Castle? No, the movie The Castle is about a little house near the airport in Melbourne. He calls his home his castle. I think it's like a little... I haven't seen that movie in a while, but yeah, the castle is referring to just a small, modest Australian home in Tullamarine. So, yeah. It's, you know, from the saying, like, a man's home is his castle. It's, yeah. We don't have castles in Australia. There was some type of fortification in Sydney originally, apparently, but it got knocked down for some reason, which sucks. And that would have been the closest thing Australia had to a castle. But yeah, no castles, unfortunately. That would be sick. Oh, we've got some fake castles. Like there's a fake castle in Ballarat called Cryol Castle. And there's a fake castle in Springwood in the Blue Mountains. There's a few fake castles, but yeah, they're just like rich people that had too much time on their hands, basically, and tried to make something that resembles like a castle of like the British Isles or something. I don't know. There's a lot of crazy people out here in the world, guys. A lot of crazies.
Disembodied voices call out names, sometimes your own. Doors slam behind you with a finality that makes your chest tighten. One cell, known for its oppressive atmosphere, is said to host the spirit of an executed man whose final moments were filled with rage. People who step inside...
Well, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if someone was murdering me.
Pressing down on their shoulders, as though the air itself refuses to let them stand tall. The most unnerving tales come from the guard towers at night. Figures are seen pacing back and forth in the moonlight, keeping watch over a prison that no longer needs guarding. And if you hear the faint jingle of keys behind you, remember here, the dead still keep their shifts.
Jenolan Caves in the Blue Mountains. Guys, the Blue Mountains are super haunted. I will be back in like a few minutes. Give me a seckie. And we're back. That was fast. I am a speedy girl. Anyway, Jenolan Caves was actually discovered by a bushranger. He was hiding from the authorities and he discovered a large cave system, and it's so pretty and it's so cool. If you are like a student in New South Wales, around the Sydney area, you are guaranteed to have gone to Jenolan Caves as an excursion where you will learn about stalactites and stalagmites. It's a very complex limestone cave system. It is gorgeous. There's also a blue pool there, which is like, as the name suggests, a very vibrantly coloured blue waterhole that is full of platypuses, and they are super cute. And I saw a mummy platypus and a baby platypus, and it was cute. And that's the story. There we go. Yay.
Jenolan Caves.
Jenolan! Fuck me dead, mate.
The Jenolan Caves are a natural wonder twisting limestone passage.
Every time he says Jenolan wrong, a part of my soul flippin' dies. I tell you what, it's Jenolan Caves, alright? Okay, deep blue ocean. Everything is calm. Everything is serene. AI man, you will not get the best of me today. I will not let you. Ugh.
Underground rivers and crystal chambers that look like something from another world.
It's so pretty.
But beauty doesn't erase the stories. And in these depths, the dark is more than just an absence of light. Long before European settlers arrived,
that's what darkness is.
People spoke of the caves as
that's not how you pronounce that.
A site of creation and spiritual significance. Later, miners and explorers ventured inside, only to return pale and shaken, claiming they heard voices whispering in the stone, guiding them or warning them from unseen dangers. Tourists today report similar experiences. In the river cave, some hear splashes in the water when nothing is moving. In the Temple of Baal chamber,
these photos don't do Jenolan Caves justice at all. It's stunning. I don't know why they're showing such shitty photos. But yeah, a lot of the caves do have creepy names, like the Baal chamber, who's obviously like a very demonic pagan god of the Old Testament. But there's also a room called the Cathedral because one of the rock formations looks like organ, and there's beautiful columns in there, and people actually get married in the cave that's called the Cathedral, and it's stunning, absolutely stunning. I don't know why the AI has chosen such shitty photos. I don't even think this is Jenolan Caves. This might be another cave system. But yeah, it's so pretty. It's so nice. Yeah.
Shadows seem to cling to the walls even under strong light. There are stories of a ghostly...
Yeah, I should show you guys some photos of Jenolan Caves. Actually, so stunning. How do you spell it? My dad's mate owns a farm in Oberon, which is near Jenolan Caves, and yeah, it's a really pretty part of the world. Dyslexia does in fact make you sexier, guys. Where is the gallery? Oh yeah, this guest house is like super popular as well. Why are you showing me possums? Okay, well. Oh, here we go. See, this is what I'm talking about. Can you see? Which way do I have to move? See that? See all like the columns and all of that? See what I'm talking about? Pretty. The little river that runs through, that's the reason why this is the blue pool that I was talking about. This is the blue pool that has platypuses in it. See how blue it is? How crazy is the color of that water? Stunning. See, I know stuff, Hyperbovie, and you thought I was crazy. There is a blue pool there. Ha. Ha. There's the little river. There's some nice little waterfalls and stuff. Some stalactites. But yeah, this is more accurate as to what it looks like. This photo here is more accurate to what it looks like. There's a lot of like these columns in there. It's really cool. It's a really cool place, and I recommend going. I have no idea how much it costs these days. It probably costs like $9 million to go, but you know, it's So I remember this is like the big cave that you walk through to like get to the guest house. This is just a normal cave. It doesn't have like any stalactites or stalagmites. And then there's the guest house and the parking area. And yeah, it's yeah, some bushranger that was running away from the cops. He found it. So it's like, yeah.
Woman in 19th century dress, drifting silently through the Lucas cave. Her presence marked only by a sudden drop in temperature. Perhaps most unsettling is the sense of being followed. Guides say they often count their group, only to find one too many figures in the line.
Oh, nice.
Until they turn to look, and the extra shape simply isn't there. The caves have stood for millions of years, and whatever watches from the dark has had plenty of time to learn the paths and the people who walk them. 4. The Rocks.
Yay,
By
Sydney!
daylight. The Rocks is a bustling historic district, its cobblestone lanes lined with cafes and boutique shops. But when the tourists leave and the night takes over, the old stones seem to remember every drop of blood spilled here. In the
It's fine. There's just a bunch of drunk backpackers there, usually British backpackers, trying to hit on you and being annoying. You just tell them to F off. Kindly, sir. Kindly, sir, would you bugger off? And off they go. And the scariest thing about the Rocks is definitely the backpackers, I would say. It's gross.
early 19th century, this was Sydney's roughest quarter, a place of sailors.
This is definitely Australia's most expensive quarter. That Irish bloke that was the CEO of Qantas lives here in like his $50-60 million flat or whatever the heck it is. Disgusting behaviour. There, up until quite recently, was a housing commission block here, but housing sold it off. But they did get hundreds of millions of dollars for it, so they were actually able to build a lot more social housing by selling it off. But it is sad that there's not social housing in the Rocks anymore, because I think everyone deserves to have harbour views. But is what it is, I guess.
Gangs and condemned convicts. Public hangings drew crowds, and cramped alleys hid crimes that never reached the courts. Disease swept through the area more than once, leaving mass graves beneath buildings that still stand. Locals and tour guides speak of spirits that wander these streets. A woman in a faded gown has been seen pacing the upper balcony of a colonial terrace, her face pale and sorrowful. In certain alleys, footsteps echo just behind you, keeping pace until you stop, and then they stop too. One of the oldest pubs here, the Hero of Waterloo.
My friend got married in the Rocks last year. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It was, God, I miss Sydney. It's such a beautiful city. But unless I win lotto, I'm not going. I'm not going anywhere near Sydney anytime soon, unfortunately. What a stunning town.
Blue is infamous for its secret tunnels that once smuggled unwilling sailors to ships. Some say you can still hear their fists pounding from beneath the floor, begging to be freed. And in the back,
I have been in the old tunnels underneath Sydney. Me and my friends used to go tunneling at night. There's ways that if you know where to go, I probably can't say on YouTube, but my dad used to be in a type of employment where he had the old maps to the old Victorian, the old like sewage system that's obviously not in use anymore, but there's a lot of tunnels under Sydney, and if you know where to get in, you can get in. And me and my friends used to do that. We used to explore the subterranean of Sydney at night. Can't say where the entrance is because yeah, I think I would get in big trouble if people know that I was down there. But you know, my dad helped facilitate my shenanigans when I was a kid. So thanks, Dad. You're a real one. We love ya. We love you. It was fun. I'll see if I can find photos of that. I think there are photos. There's also, when my dad used to work for the railways, there's also an entire train line and entire train stations underneath Sydney that were never used. And they're really cool too. My dad's been inside those because he had the keys. Very few people know that there have been not one, but 3 tunnels cut under Sydney Harbour. Here we go. These are the old tunnels under Sydney. But yeah, not many people know how to get in here. I do, but I think I don't want to get arrested or something, so I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say how you get in. I think these are the train ones actually. But yeah, there's heaps of tunnels under Sydney. But yeah, they took down the old maps that used to show you how to go. How to get in there. It's pretty cool.
back room, glasses sometimes lift and smash to the ground with no hand to touch them. Stand
That's
alone
called
in the
drunk
rocks
people.
after midnight, and you'll feel it, the city's past brushing up against your skin. A history that doesn't want to be forgotten. 3. Wakehurst Parkway, Sydney's northern beaches. At first glance, Wakehurst Parkway is just another stretch of winding road through bushland. But anyone who's driven it at night knows the uneasy silence it carries and the sudden cold breath of something unseen. The most enduring legend here is that of Kelly, the ghost of a young woman who appears in the passenger seat of lone drivers. Sometimes she's quiet, simply staring ahead. Other times, she demands to be taken to a certain location. Those who refuse or try to speak to her claim their car suddenly swerves as if someone else is tugging at the wheel. Police officers have admitted they avoid the road after dark, unless necessary. Locals whisper about accidents that happen without cause. No animals, no other cars. Just
Oh God, that was a jump scare.
Veering off into the trees.
Why would you put that
Some
photo up?
drivers
Jesus
report
Christ,
headlights
mate.
appearing in their rearview mirror, only for the lights to vanish when they pull over to let the car pass. Others say they've seen a woman in white walking along the verge. Her figure illuminated for a split second in their beams before dissolving into the night air. The road twists through deep, shadowed bends, and the bush seems to press in closer the further you go. It's the kind of place where, if you feel the need to glance in your rearview mirror,
Won't somebody think of the millionaires, okay? Won't somebody think of the people with 10, 20, 30 million dollar properties on the northern beaches? They're being haunted by Kelly. They're being haunted by Kelly. Horrible.
you may regret what you see. 2. Gledswood Homestead, Catherine Field, once a thriving colonial estate. Gledswood Homestead now stands as both a heritage site and a stage for whispers from the past. Built in the early 1800s, it was home to the Chisholm family for generations.
The Chisholm family.
Witnessing births, deaths,
And
the long,
marriages.
slow
Oh.
decline of the property's fortunes. Guests and staff have long reported strange happenings here. The drawing room seems to hum with invisible energy, as if conversations from another century are still playing out. Music has been heard drifting from the ballroom when the house is empty. The notes faint, but unmistakable. Perhaps
there's a
the most
winery
frequently
there.
spotted figure is that of a woman in period.
I think I found the reason for people seeing and hearing stuff. There's a winery here and it's open 7 days. I think I found the reason for the ghost, guys. It's the alcohol.
Dress, believed to be Mrs. Chisholm herself. She is seen
Jeezy.
most often near the main staircase, her face unreadable, her eyes fixed on something far beyond the present.
Yeah, she wants some
Children
Merlot.
visiting the
Help
house
her out.
sometimes claim to see the lady before anyone mentions her. On certain nights, lights are spotted moving through the vineyards outside, bobbing as though carried by invisible hands. The air in the cellar is unnaturally cold, and some visitors feel their hair being tugged gentle at first, then sharply, as if to warn them away. Gledswood may be beautiful.
Stop trying to turn me on, Gledswood ghosts, okay? God.
In daylight, but once the sun dips below the horizon, the house seems to inhale, and you can't shake the feeling it's waiting for something or someone. 1. Cockatoo Island.
My dad used to work on Cockatoo Island. My daddy used to work on Cockatoo Island as a rigger. He used to do rigging on Cockatoo Island. It's not used for like ships and stuff anymore, but my dad used to work on Cockatoo Island way before I was born. He used to work at Cockatoo Island. Now it's like a hipster like art gallery. It's not used for anything like industrial anymore, but it used to. And my daddy used to work there. My daddy and my uncle used to both work there. Yay!
Sydney Harbour. Rising from the middle of Sydney Harbour, Cockatoo Island looks peaceful, ferries docking at its wharf, seagulls circling overhead. But its history is layered in shadows. Over the centuries, it has been a convict prison, a reformatory for girls, and a naval shipyard. Each chapter left
My daddy worked there when it was a shipyard.
scars, and some say the island never stopped holding on to the people who suffered here. In the mid-1800s, Convicts were kept in harsh conditions, sleeping in overcrowded barracks carved into the sandstone. Many died from disease, violence, or sheer despair. Later, when the reformatory was established, girls as young as 9 were sent here for correction. Accounts from the time describe cruelty, isolation, and punishments that left lasting marks, both physical and unseen. Today, visitors walking the island's paths sometimes hear the clank of chains on stone steps, or low murmurs drifting from the dark tunnels that run beneath the old workshops. The abandoned buildings echo with phantom footsteps, and lights flicker inside locked rooms. Some campers have woken in the night to find shadowy figures.
Isn't there an old prison island off Queensland? Yeah, there's lots of prison islands off the coast.
Standing just beyond the glow of their tents, watching silently. Others report hearing a young girl's sobs carried on the wind, fading whenever they try to follow the sound. The most unsettling stories come from the solitary cells. Stand inside one.
I'll ask my dad if he ever saw anything when he worked there, but I think mainly he was just doing really hard manual labor when he worked there. Probably just, you know, sweating a lot because it's Sydney and it's hot in summer, but I'll ask him. My dad's very open to the supernatural, I would say. He has lots of ghost stories. He has lots of ghost stories from all over the world because he's worked all over the world.
One too long, and you might feel the air thicken, your breath quickening, your own heartbeat echoing in your ears. When you step out, the harbor will look the same, but you'll leave knowing the island has measured you and decided to let you go. From misty tunnels to wind-battered headlands, New South Wales hides a collection of stories too heavy for daylight. These are places where history doesn't sleep, where footsteps still echo, and voices from the past are never entirely silent.
Queen Victoria building!
You can visit them. You can take the tours.
This is a shopping centre, by the way. This is a shopping centre with a big subterranean area called the Galleries Victoria that goes down to Town Hall Station. There used to be a shop there called Jizz Fashion. It used to be owned by this cute little Korean couple and it was called Jizz Fashion, and it closed down a few years ago, and I'm really sad because I always used to have a giggle about Jizz Fashion. And I bought Jizz, J-I-Z-Z, Jizz Fashion. I'll show you Jizz Fashion. It used to be in the underneath this building. Yeah, I don't think the cute little couple that ran it knew what it meant, but Jizz Fashion. Sydney. It's gone now. It was an institution. Everyone used to have a giggle at it. Here you go, Jizz Fashion. Oh, I'll always love you, Jizz Fashion. Can you see it? This is underneath that building that they were just showing. It's called Jizz Fashion. It's No, I've Googled this before. I've Googled this before to show someone, so I know it's a safe Google. Can you see it? Jizz Fashion. Rest in peace, Jizz Fashion. That was such an institution. Everyone had a good giggle at that. It was the cutest family that ran it though. Oh my goodness. They sold really daggy clothes, like $10, $20 like clothes. But I bought a few things from Jizz Fashion. Such a good time. Jizz Fashion. I will always love you.
You can even tell yourself it's all just folklore. But when the lights flicker in the harbor and the air shifts without warning, you might remember these names and realize the dead in New South Wales have no reason to let you walk away untouched. That's all for today.
I don't want to get molested by a ghost. What are you talking about, you creep? I've been to like 60% of these places and a ghost never tried to molest me. He said we're not going to get away untouched by the ghosts. Why are the ghosts trying to touch me? What a bunch of creeps. But I will say none of the ghosts ever tried to touch me when I went to these places. So, I don't know. Was I rejected by the ghosts? What is happening? What is happening? Oh my goodness.